Excuse me.
Yeah.
Do you know what a core page is?
Core, like, what do you mean? What do you mean core?
Like a core page.
Is that one of those weird Star Wars things?
Excuse me, ma'am. Do you know what a core page is?
Do I know you? You can't film in here.
Hey, sir. Do you know what a core page is?
Of course I do. My ex used to run one.
Of course I do. Dual droideka-core all day.
Oh, like preppy core, like dark academia core, right? It's like a fashion thing, right?
Chopper, over here. Chopper, do you know what a core page is? Cool, thanks, Chop. Excuse me, sir. Do you know what a core page is?
What was that?
Do you know what a core page is?
Do I know what a core page is? Those were the best days of my life.
If you've been on Facebook in the past 10 years, then you may have stumbled across a meme page with the suffix core at the end and thought, what the hell does that mean? Well, in this documentary, I'm going to tell you all about core pages, what they are, how they came to be, and how they've influenced the broader internet. I'm droideka-2, one of 2 admins of Dual Droideka-core, and I'll be your guide on this journey into internet fandom and shitposting. Follow me.
The Phantom Menace opens at midnight.
Place in the Star Wars line.
People started lining up over a month ago.
All right, get out your lightsaber. The hype surrounding this movie has been overwhelming. Now the question is, will it deliver?
They're about to open the doors here in just a few minutes, and people are revved
Some
up.
2.2 million.
Ask anyone growing up around the time of the Star Wars prequels, and they can tell you how exciting it was that new Star Wars was coming out.
I haven't felt this since 1977.
Of course, plenty of disappointment and negativity followed later. But ultimately, it was fun being hyped for new Star Wars movies.
This is fucking awesome.
And for a long time after that, it seemed like we'd never get another saga or more movies in general. The future seemed to hang in limbo. So when 2015 rolled around, there was naturally a lot of hype and excitement all over again. A new trilogy is about to land, and nobody quite knows what to expect yet. It's during this period of excitement that an important moment in history occurred: the creation of the first core page. On May 5th, 2015, Kit Fisto Core is created, and everything would change. Kit Fisto, together with a few other meme page admins, create a slew of other core pages to shitpost Star Wars memes. Suddenly, there's an explosion. People all over Facebook start making their own core pages. People literally can't stop making pages. So many, in fact, that I ended up making a Too Many Cooks parody that ended up being longer than the original, and I still didn't include everybody. Not even close. Based on characters, droids, ships, anything you could think of. And it didn't stay in the Star Wars universe. Marvel, Lord of the Rings, Transformers, Bionicles, you name it. I mean, the most popular core page of all time is based off Legally Blonde. Who could have seen that coming? So how did we get here? How did a movement like this come about, and how did it come to influence the broader internet as a whole? We sat down with one of the admins of Kit Fisto Core to help enlighten us. So I'm glad to have you here. So first off, I have to start off with the very obvious question that everybody wants to know, the burning question. Do you think Kit Fisto's hot?
Kit Fisto is the sexiest head tail man you'll ever fucking meet. He is incredibly sexy. There's 2 whole shows where he's shirtless. What's more sexy?
I hear you. Obviously the other question that everyone wants to know the most. If you can tell us, do you know where the suffix core came from and kind of how that was brought up as a concept?
So the original admin one, we'll just call him. In 2015, I was actually just going through this post earlier because I had a feeling you'd ask about this. 2015, I want to say roughly May, made a post jokingly saying, let's make a core council page. Like, like not page, but like a group, like Plo Koon core, for example, is a good one. He's one of the first ones. Yoda core, all those big ones that were like starting off with. And it blew up. I think we got about roughly 100 core pages made within that day. Like, it's just a stupid amount. And all of them had like 2-5 likes, and it was just like, oh, what have we done? Like, we really did not expect it to blow up like it did. And it kind of steamrolled from there. Like, now you see examples even to this day of like DC characters, Indiana Jones characters, you name it. There's a core page for like anything these days. Doctor Who characters. It's actually fucking nuts. It wasn't intended to be that big, but then it did. And it was kind of like, oh shit, well, these meme pages are kind of good, so who cares?
It happened almost in a week that like all of these core pages really started to blow up. And by the time that I had found my little corner of the community, it's just like every day a new one was popping up. And I was like, okay, dang, okay, we're part of this now. It wasn't just like, oh, I saw that other people were doing it. It was the right place and the right time, because it was pretty much a year before Force Awakens. Pretty much right around the hype and everyone talking about it, like, oh, Star Wars is coming back, we're gonna do it. And I think that excitement and just anticipation really kept Star Wars in everybody's faces, because, you couldn't escape it then again. And it's like, oh, it's coming back, we're gonna do it, it's gonna be good. The anticipation and everybody just getting really hyped about it, I think that just naturally then core pages got tied to the excitement for Star Wars and new Star Wars. And then it kept going.
So it started off as a handful of admins creating a few dozen pages, spawned into thousands over the years. Some theorize that because they made so many pages on the first day, it gave the impression there were tons of people making these core pages. It seemed like a trend and lots of people just wanted to join in on the fun.
I've been theorizing for years now that the core movement wouldn't have taken off had they not made so many pages at one time. The presence of these pages made it seem like a movement and not just a handful of shit posters. Little did they know, they'd be ushering in a new era in meme history.
Like, it's weird knowing that we influence such a big group, and it's also weird that if I go to work and someone's like, oh, check out this meme, it could be like a core page meme, and then I'm like, do I tell them, or is that weird that I say, oh yeah, I was actually the first core page, Yeah, it's really weird. I don't know. It's cool, don't get me wrong, it's fucking awesome, but it's also weird knowing that like it's steamrolled, it fucking has a bigger influence. There's like core pages out there that don't even know about Kit Fisto core, or even maybe Star Wars core pages for that. And it's great knowing that like every time there's like a Star Wars media that comes out, someone just goes, oh, that little side character, yeah, let's make a core page for him.
Yeah, it feels like people really ran with that Glup Shido
yeah, it literally just Glup Shido, you are right.
It was like, it predates Glup Shido. The hyper-specific Wikipedia mountains of text, the best memes, the funniest jokes, some of the things that I just cried laughing at sometimes, would be something like from that Ewok that died core or whatever. Because those pages, for the most part, when they were really hitting their stride, that was the only thing they made a joke about. They only talked about that one Ewok that died, or stuff that is right adjacent to it. So the idea of processing tragedy through this pivotal moment in a movie that so many of us grew up loving. It's like, oh my god, they just killed that teddy bear. So it'll hit you, like you'll be scrolling and it'll be like, oh god, what did this evil dictator say today or whatever. And then like you'll scroll down and you'll just see something that's just so disrespectful, maybe in one way, shape, or form, but it's tied to this dead Ewok, or it doesn't make sense. we hit that right moment of like post irony where some of the templates, like, you could just be like, oh, and your circle's small but y'all crazy, and it's just a dead Ewok or something. It's like, oh my god, that's funny. What are we doing right now?
I think that was the thing when we started our page. The ones we liked the most were obscure background characters or whatever, or just kind of people you didn't really think about until someone points it out.
You know, I was following some other meme pages that probably shared something from a core page, and then I got, fell down the rabbit hole. And when Force Awakens came out, I kind of just, I really liked that Poe Dameron fella, and it just occurred to me, like, there's no laws against making a core page, like I could just make one myself. And so I just figured, I'll take my favorite new character from the new movie and I'll just make one.
When I had the idea to make a Star Wars core page, every single character that I thought of already had a page, like literally already. And I was like, damn, man, I wish I could find like some character that's like niche, that doesn't have a page, but something that I can also kind of make like my own. And I just remembered f***ing Octo Bogdo, that bastard f***ing killed me so many times. And that's how it started. Like, basically, I just wanted to have a niche character. And honestly, I think it was the best choice that I ever made, because it feels like it's an extension of me now.
Really, I started my first core page as, I wouldn't say a coping mechanism, more of just a way to get my frustration out through humor. I was inspired to make it because a core that I was following for a very long time was droideka-core. I just thought he was so funny, and I was like, well, I'm seeing all these other pages. I can create a page, right? And so one day, after trying to find Star Wars The Black Series action figures, I was like, all right, I'm just going to create this page based on a Star Wars action figure line, which I'd figured, like, it's not going to be, like, super big or anything. It's just a place for me to upload whatever memes come to mind.
When Adam actually made the Black Series core, he was having so much fun. Like, he was just telling me about like all these interactions he had with other pages and shit like that. And I remember it was at the moment where Adam had a meme going on. It was like a copy pasta that he was doing, and everybody was doing it. I thought that shit was so funny that I thought I could join in. And I think at that point is when I made my page.
Man, I remember when we had like core activities. Those were the days. People were constantly tagging each other in core memes. I made like lots of friends by just being like, hey, other core, like I made this meme with your character. Like, I hope you like it. I think you're cool.
This is something I've seen echoed amongst many core admins that I talk to. There's something about the core community that feels inclusive. After discovering a few cores, many admins were encouraged by friends already running pages, or they just wanted to put their own spin on whatever meme trend was going on at the time. Some pages don't even get in on the meme game. Some cores like Kanan Jarrus upload comic pages or post statuses that encourage discussion. Darth Nihilus core posts about how he won't watch any Star Wars content that doesn't have Darth Nihilus in it. Some people name their core pages after foods, or YouTube channels about food. Truly anything goes. There are no rules when it comes to making a core page.
Every core kind of has a different take on, how close to the character am I going to adhere? How on topic am I going to be with what I post? Like, that has always varied wildly from page to page and continues to vary. The part of me was like, I want to make a core page. The cores, they seem like they're having so much fun. Everyone's memeing. I can make memes. I at the time was very active in several Facebook meme groups. Like, people would be like, hey, you're that chick from the Star Wars meme group. Or, hey, I saw you in Lord of the Rings Sharp Post. And I'd be like, yeah, it's me, bitch. Like, what up? A big part of it was wanting to, like, the community of, being part of the meme phenomena. This was pre-monetization, right? So none of us were doing it for money, right? Like, everybody was in it just for pure love of the game. I think one of the earliest things, I think how I got my name out, there was, like, a core competition. There was, like, a core petition. And I was like, real core? I'm a real core, put me in the core petition. They were like, okay, Catwoman core, I guess you're in the bracket. Another part is that it was honestly like kind of an early crutch
for my transition in a way, like the lineup with me making the page and me coming out. I feel like I lived a lot of my major transition milestones kind of like through the page. Like if you've been a follower for a while, then or if you know anything about trans women on the internet, you know that we get a lot of harassment and discourse, and there's been like a lot of that and a lot of pushback, and pushback's the wrong word, harassment's the right word. Like there have been very targeted harassment campaigns and attempts to dox me and my family, which wasn't very fun. But also like I've had so many people message me being like, hey, like because of your page, like I came out, I started tea, I started estrogen, like I did the big thing because I see you living so authentically.
And what Catwoman Core is saying here isn't just her experience. There's a lot of queer admins that have found solace in the core community. It's that inclusive nature I mentioned earlier. It doesn't matter what your background is as long as you want to have fun and participate in fandom. Not to say it's all sunshine and roses, because, like every fandom, the shitheads will pop up and stir the pot. But generally, that behavior isn't tolerated by most. In this corner of the internet, you're encouraged to raise your freak flag high. Even if maybe that means you create horny Liam Neeson core or whatever.
Everyone needs community, and the best way to sort of crack those eggs in your life, whether it be as a trans person, as a queer person, and understand that for yourself, or understand that it's okay to be that, or even just get the courage to come out, community is super important for that. If people don't feel like they have any support, they will generally try to hide it or just be hidden, you know, because it's a hostile environment. So I think community is super important in that, and what the core community did was create a community that was a relatively curated space that ousted people that weren't supportive of everything. So I think it was sort of like seen as like, oh, here's people making queer memes, making inclusive memes, and bashing people that would bash me for being queer. So I think it sort of, yeah, it definitely has had the potential to be a space for people like that. I think it definitely helped, especially because, you know, I had no idea. I should have, but I had no idea that I was trans until, you know, 2021-ish, and I realized like, oh yeah, no, I'm definitely not the gender I was assigned, and I still wasn't gonna do anything about it for a while, but I think just the community had a really big impact on my courage and acceptance of it. And, you know, seeing memes and stuff that like talked about the trans experience or the queer experience and being like, oh, that I relate to that. Why do I relate to that? So yeah, I think community and exposure to a lot of different viewpoints definitely helped in my experience. So I'm sure it helped with others. And I remember specifically a number of people who realized that they were queer or trans or came out as queer or trans in the space. So
I think we crave community, especially when you're younger. You kind of crave groups, friends. You know, you just kind of, you want to express yourself amongst people who are like-minded, and I think that's what core pages have.
We made our page 9 months after Kit Fisto, so we were early, but we weren't one of the first by any means. We were really inspired by a lot of the obscure character pages, and somehow we just landed on the 2 droideka from Phantom Menace. It's been really fun to not only challenge ourselves with these characters that have less than 30 seconds of screen time, but also to kind of give them a sense of personality that we've injected into them. Because a lot of these obscure characters or droids, they have so little screen time, it meant that meme page admins like us were able to actually create some personality that isn't actually there.
For some people where it's like we didn't really get a lot of their personality in the movies, or like us where we're droids and they just don't really have personalities really.
No.
It's fun to see how people latch like a certain type of persona or just type of humor on a certain character.
And that is a humor within itself, isn't it? Like, it's funny thinking about Kit Fisto going on Facebook and posting half of this stuff.
Right.
It's funny to see like a post where he's like, gonna go pull up on an old man in a Senate building, lol, wish me luck, I got fucked up, you know, that like, just an example. That's funny. Kit Fisto posting on Facebook, a dual droideka posting on Facebook, you know, like, it's stupid, it's great.
Yeah, especially for that one, it was like a challenge to us, like how many things can we do with this one scene? in one movie.
Right? Yeah, literally, like, not even like, it's like 5 seconds if I recall. Yeah.
One of my favorite examples of that is Coleman Core. Like,
Coleman
that character
Trevor
shows up and gets killed, and like that's it. And he's
I
made
think
a
that's
whole
an
meme page
example
out
of a core page that, like, that transcended that core page of that meme.
The community even spans generations. I talked to Kino Loikor, an admin in his mid-50s, about how he found his way into a community started by millennials and co-opted by Zoomers. Just like a lot of people, he noticed 1 or 2 pages memes popping into his feed, and this just led him to following a bunch of pages until eventually, being so inspired by Andor, he made his own page. So even age isn't really a restriction for the core community. Again, you could be anyone from anywhere and make any character page you wanted to.
Once the core community was born, no one truly realized what a mark on history it would leave. People don't understand the influence that cores have had on the larger internet. But hopefully, that's all about to change.
Oh, hi, I didn't see you there. So now that you know what core pages are, and how some people were drawn to the community, you might be wondering what kind of influence they've had on the broader internet. Because even though this is a niche corner of the internet, there's a surprising amount of core memes running amok on other platforms. Some that have influenced trends, and possibly even the MCU. But first, let's start with what is probably the biggest singular meme to come from the core page community.
The most famous meme of the core community is absolutely Sully Core's face swap, where he puts Sully's face on Mike Wazowski. That's Sully Core. The core community made that, and it was everywhere.
That's right, the Mike Sully face swap meme.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a really interesting thing that happened with that. So I posted it and it got nothing at first. Like, it got a couple of reacts and, that sort of thing, but didn't hear anything for about a month, like nothing special about it. And then people started sending me in these meme group chats, they started to send me, it had blown up in the Spanish community for no real reason. It was around the time when everyone was reacting with like Jar Jar Jars, the laughing react. Massively blown up in the Spanish meme community, and I thought that was pretty cool. And then all of a sudden someone found there was a Time magazine post about it, like, talking about the face swap meme and everything like that. And then I thought, okay, well that's the peak of this meme. And then I woke up one day and one of my friends, General Grievous Core's admin, had sent me a YouTube video which had it on the thumbnail of PewDiePie's video, and like that was just brilliant. But I didn't hear anything about it for about a month, and then all of a sudden it was just everywhere.
And do you think it was the right time, right place? Like, do you think that it was a lot to do with Facebook and that time period?
Yeah, I think so. A lot more people, I think, were using Facebook rather than Instagram, and TikTok wasn't out yet, or not popular yet, at least. So a lot more people were kind of engaging with it, and I think it was just before the start of COVID time as well. So people were like looking for a way to have a bit of a laugh.
He even did he restarted the hate for the Ice Age baby and stuff like that. That was on him.
So yeah, no, it was funny. I think it was in like 2019 that I made it, something like that. But it didn't become worldwide until the year after, and that was actually the same year that I made the I Hate the Baby from Ice Age meme, and so made that Facebook page and everything like that as well. And so that blew up at about a similar time, which was pretty cool to see two different types of memes get really popular really, really quickly within the span of each other.
But there was one. It was after there was the first trailer for Bohemian Rhapsody. There's a moment where Rami Malek says, "This is where the operatic section comes in." And I remember I made a meme basically where it was like John Williams and Darth Maul, Phantom Menace, when the lightsaber goes off, and it was like, oh, yeah, this is where the operatic section comes in. And that one, it did pretty well. I mean, it went around, it had a lot of engagement on Facebook. And then again, I started to see people using that template, and I knew that I had something to do with it because I could still see my watermark. on like one of the monitors in this recording booth, and I was like, wait a second. So it's like, oh, well, that's cool to be able to see it kind of take on a life of its own and even move beyond Star Wars in this very niche little core community that you got going.
But core pages have had more influence than just a single meme template or a running gag. One of the best examples of how memes in general can have real-life influence happened on October 9th, 2018, when the admins of Moon Knight Core posted this meme. The "I know you're here, Dracula" meme would explode not just on Facebook, but across the Twitter sphere as well, creating a sudden interest in a D-list Marvel character. Don't get me wrong, this is no shade at the character. I actually love some of Moon Knight's comics. But before the popularity of this page's memes, he wasn't on most people's radar. The general populace either didn't know of him, or maybe vaguely knew of him. So when these memes popped up in people's feed, I don't think they knew if they were actually accurate to his personality in the comics. Because this wasn't the only meme that would get popular from Moon Knight Core. This post seen here is their other biggest meme. It got so big, it ended up as an unlockable emoji in the mobile game Marvel Snap. And the multiplayer game Marvel Rivals referenced the Dracula meme, which made it canon maybe? Core page memes somehow ended up in two extremely popular Marvel games, played by millions. Even Jed McKay, the current Moon Knight writer of the past few years, referenced the Dracula meme on Twitter, and replied to Moon Knight Core once or twice. It's crazy that the meme culture surrounding this character has reached the people writing his stories, possibly influencing them. These two memes, along with dozens of their other comic page edits, legitimately made the character more popular. Either because people thought their edits were real, or it just got them to look into the character and discover his stories.
I know the big original one that I followed was Moon Knight Core. I think everybody follows Moon Knight Core.
It's got such a cult following around Moon Knight Core.
And I firmly believe that if it wasn't for the popularity that came from these memes, I don't think we would have gotten the MCU show.
Moon Knight Core's memes circulated a lot before COVID and during. Google Trends show that searches for Moon Knight rose in 2019. It's not a stretch of the imagination to think Feige and Marvel saw the character's growing popularity online at a time when they were beginning to focus on other characters in their roster that weren't done before Endgame. Obviously, I have no way of getting in contact with Feige, but if anyone knows him, ask him for me, will you?
Do you think that there are any core pages that have maybe like made their character more popular, or do you think some characters are just more popular because of the meme presence?
I definitely think it's a bit of both. I feel like it's also got to do with the 2008 Clone Wars as well. Because obviously 2003 Clone Wars, you had Kit Fisto episodes and whatnot. People were like, this guy's cool. But 8 really did a lot of characterization. And I feel like you said, the meme pages kind of made it popular. They'd make like a obscure meme or a popular, like, let's just say, I don't know, Rise of Skywalker just came out. They'd make something connected to that, even though it had nothing to do with their character. But then people would start being like, oh, this page is funny. This guy, let's use a random character. Sliced Noodles. Sliced Noodles is a really good character, yeah. Right? You're like, you know. And people kind of click onto that, you know, they're like, oh, cool. And I feel like it's also because people go, oh yeah, I liked that movie. I recognize them as a semi-decent background character. You know what I mean? The meme culture is really funny with this core page thing, though. Like, I feel like it's really weird that core pages kind of made the Star Wars memes what they are today.
Yeah, and it's funny because I've even experienced people who know core pages out in the wild, or like a buddy I work with filed Old Men Core or something, you know? So like, it's funny how I see random stuff like that. I also see like re-uploads all over the place sometimes, like just on Instagram or Reddit. I'll just be like, oh, that's a core page meme.
Yeah, constantly. You know, my father-in-law has a Constantine Core as his cover photo on Facebook once. I was like, what the fuck? Like, man knows nothing about cores, you know, like, you know, it's really weird too. Like you said, how you see re-upload. It's weird knowing that Admin 4 made the all women are queens, if she breathes, she's a fop meme, and that exploded. That is nuts to me. That was like something that was originally on our page. Yeah, all the core pages, really. Like seriously, like you said, you go TikTok, you go Reddit, you go Instagram.
So with both Sully and Moon Knight, we can see perfect examples of how the core page community has influenced the broader internet. and made certain characters more popular. But what about the influence it's had on the lives of the admins running these pages? A while ago, I emailed the admin of Elle Wood's core to ask her about her experience running the biggest core page. She mentioned to me that through her political memes and some of the community that she had built up around the page, it eventually put her on the path to real-life activism, which I think is another beautiful thing to come from this community, originally born as a place to just shitpost memes. Elle used her place as a community leader to fight online hate with her positive messaging and support for oppressed groups. This is why the core community felt like a safe space for some, because a lot of admins did make the effort, just like Elle, to make people feel like they could come as they are. And the fact that this led to doing work in her real-life community is even better, and probably the best example of a positive influence core pages have had. Although, there might be one other example I can think of that might top that. Back in 2023, 2 core page admins met up in real life for the first time to hang out, play video games together. Just another example of the core community bringing 2 friends from different parts of the world together. Flash forward to 2026, those 2 admins are now happily engaged. Let me repeat that, engaged. This meme page community brought together 2 people that wouldn't have known each other otherwise, and it turns out they were soulmates. So you didn't know each other beforehand, so
No.
Was it just running the pages and interacting with your posts? How did that all come to be?
So it wasn't too far into both of us being core pages. Dooku was organising and a bunch of other cores were organising a bunch of trans posts. I can't remember the exact context.
I want to say it was Trans Day of Remembrance.
But it was like, okay, I'm still learning how to do like fancy editing, and I'd seen some of Trash's posts, and I just happened to say like off chance to them in DMs like, hey, I really want to be involved in this thing that's going on, but I'm really bad at editing. And they very kindly did my first proper profile picture with the like trans hair color Sabine that I've sort of kept the entire time. Really, since then, you know, we started talking. We were friends for a year before we started dating. We started just talking more about non-Star Wars stuff as well. But I think realizing how much we shared in common, bar just Star Wars, and then playing different games together with other members of the community at points, and then just playing stuff together on our own, we really just realized how much we matched. And then she confessed to me very sleepily one night.
To give the proper context, we had been playing over Discord with Boba Fett core, and they'd gone off call, so it was just me and Sabine at this point. I have a really bad habit of sleep talking, and I'd been crushing on her so bad for so long, and I was like, man, you got to make sure I don't say that or anything, because that would be stupid, is what was going on in my brain as what was coming out of my mouth was, hey, I really like you and we should have a date. And then we did. Because of the fact that we luckily lived not too far away from each other, I had free time. So what I said was just, hey, come over. And there's a post where we were playing Lego Star Wars. We were running around as Dooku and Sabine because of course we were. And you know, that date was really cute, really sweet, but we both realized very quickly into it that like, shit, this is something. And it didn't take long.
I've never even really traveled to go on a date with somebody, and like traveling to a part of the country I've never been to before, middle of nowhere, it's like there's not even like great public connections there. It was kind of nerve-wracking. I took a big sort of gamble deciding, okay, let's go visit this place and meet up with someone who, yes, I'd spoken to for like a year at that point, but still someone I'd only really spoken to online, you know. I know it's tropey and all that, you know, true love or love at first sight, whatever you want to say, you know, zing, whatever. Like, it's tropey, but it really was just like 2 pieces of a puzzle clicking together.
While it may not be the bond that these 2 share, a lot of other admins have made real connections through the core page scene. Me and the other Droideka admin ourselves have made real friends in different parts of the world. An important note about the core community is how people form their inner friend circles through Facebook Messenger chats or Discord. Admins would invite other admins of pages they like to different group chats, and eventually real friendships would form. During the pandemic, we were messaged by Ice Cream Maker Core, who's based off this prop that's in Empire for 3 seconds, to join a core chat where we formed real friends that we still actively chat and game with.
So it was Whack-core, Inquisitor-core, Bullio-core. I think Bullio, he's the only one that's around anymore. I can't remember. Forgive me for these other pages, I just can't remember. We just made like a small group, and then, because we're just like the new cores on the scene, and started as being a sort of a chat where people could just get to know each other and help each other out. And there was one big core that was like sort of supporting us, but again, it's been 6 years, I've forgotten who they are. So then kind of blew up. I guess my page blew up the most, and then we started inviting like new people in and trying to support them and stuff like that. And then people stopped posting. There wasn't a reason for the chat anymore. And then I wake up one day and everyone was called Braden McDermott. So
Shortly after that, we made our own group chat specifically for droid pages, where again we formed real friendships.
There are very few people I could talk to in my real life about how hyper-specific and weird this is. There was a core crew. I didn't even mean to do that. There was a core crew that I had, that I was a part of. The crew was Boss NASCore, who were 2 guys. And I'm still in contact with all these people, which is lovely. But it was Padme Core, Boss NASCore, that one Ewok that died core, and Wedge Antilles, who was an honorary core page, but never had the core at the end of it. And just some of the bits and the bouncing off, like joke-wise, that we were able to do was a really good time. I loved the era where I got to a point in life where I finally got to meet some of these people. Like, that was wild to think of. Because after I graduated college, I've known these people for a while then. I went over to the UK after I graduated for a little bit, but there are a bunch of core admins over there. So I was able to meet the infamous Finn core. He was like 40 feet tall in person. Padme Core, got to meet them, and they're a successful model now in London, and it was like, oh my god. General Grievous Core, I got to meet him.
You know how life is made of legends and mythology? That was that moment. It was like mythology. No, it was crazy. You kind of interact with someone, you're sharing memes, and you sort of, okay, he's here, I'm going to go meet him. And you just kind of vibe, because old Ben Core's American, he was very like, come here, give me a hug and all this, and I was so like taken aback, but it was like very natural, because in Britain it is like, you meet someone, you're like, hey up mate, yeah, you're alright, but he's like, oh buddy, I'll come here, I literally in a McDonald's in the UK doing the Dexter Jettster impression in front of his dad. Yeah, really crazy. It was really, it's like a memory you just don't forget.
The fact that I was able to meet these people that I, just shared hours and hours of time in group chats and stuff like that. My dad mentioned it was like we had known each other since we were kids, me and these random people I was meeting for the first time. And that kind of was just this beautiful full circle moment where it was like, some of them didn't even have really their page anymore. Padme Core's page was just gone because they were just focusing, on their career. And it was really cool to be like, oh my gosh, I'm still in contact with this person, even after our silly Star Wars meme pages aren't doing the same things.
I can't send you an image of this. I think someone got a poster I did a meme edited of me and old Ben Core, the picture of Joseph Smith meeting God and an angel, the Mormon religion. There's a image of us meeting, and someone took that meme I made and put it on their wall. So I hope I'm still on someone's bedroom wall with old Ben Core from that meeting. Honored.
So I kid you not, who's the keeper of canon? Pablo Hidalgo, right? He was kind of one of the canon guys early on. He was the dude who wrote the random lore for those encyclopedias that would come out with all the pictures. And Grievous put him in comics and had Pablo Hidalgo banishing some character to the non-canon void or whatever. It was just completely unhinged stuff. Pablo Hidalgo's wife found it and showed it to Pablo Hidalgo.
That is my proudest moment as a Star Wars meme page. But let me actually explain to people. So 2018, 2019, whatever. So our obsession was Dexter Jettster. You know, the character from Attack of the Clones, you know, hey, Obi-Wan. You know, we were obsessed with that character. Like, honestly, it's kind of concerning because he's just there for 2 minutes. And we just kind of fascinated by him because he's just this American diner in space. Like, he's just a working man. And I kind of think that's how I reflect on him. That's why I really love Dex. He is just the common man in Star Wars. So I just thought, you know what, this guy, like, he must have adventures. And I just kind of just made these random funny comics. And at the time, I used to be anti-Disney. I don't know if it was just for edgy reasons. Like, I never actually hated, you know, the Disney Star Wars stuff too much. I think because at the time, I think we were just kind of craving a bit more new stuff from Disney. Because we just had The Force Awakens. I said Rogue One was literally Remember the Star Wars. So I think there was that kind of craving for new stuff. And in my Dax comics, it was literally just to kind of comment on the state of Star Wars. You know, I kept doing these comics and I thought Pablo Hidalgo, you know, like, maybe he's the villain. I think I am the non-canon void. A lot of Star Wars fans were sharing the one image of Pablo Hidalgo, you know, going, my Hidalgo bones, and you sent to the non-canon void. And I think his wife shared it, and Pablo said something about it, and it was like being mean to my husband. He kind of gets his constant stupidity, and I just kind of commented like on my own actual Twitter account, like me, even though I don't think they would believe me, but I was like, oh, I made this meme, no actual hard feelings, it is just a joke. I did like Pablo, and I never had it was just kind of like, I think I was just playing on the Disney, anti-Disney hate.
Like, the highest levels of Lucasfilm have been directly exposed to this weird stuff. And I'm sure some of them have seen it, and they know about it. Because if Pablo Hidalgo's wife is like, hey, look at this, it's the non-canon void, it's like, what? So that's yeah, you get weird moments like that.
I think the best thing about the Dax comics was, like, it was just for my own humor, like me and my friends, but I'm glad that some people just really, you know, people who kind of followed us really enjoyed them. So even if I got next to no likes on them, they were the best part. I think they were the most fun.
I do have a lot of favorite memes, but it's really hard to, like, really track that down, set that down into one. I used to have a YouTube page for this, and it used to have like 600 videos, and I loved each of one of those memes by themselves. You know, like, I love them all equally. I'm like a fucking terrible parent. I claim that I love them all equally,
Right.
but I really don't.
So droideka-core, we understand you used to run a trend called Thick Thursdays.
Turn around, TT. I was like, damn, what you doing out here with all this ass? Double cheeked up on a Thursday afternoon, hella ass, the sun is still out.
The inclusive way so many people created core pages was unlike anything ever seen throughout human history. But with so many being created, eventually the public began asking the question, are there too many cores?
From 2015 to 2019, it seemed like cores were coming and going, maybe just another meme fad that was destined to die out. But in the midst of the COVID-19 outbreak in 2020, the core community saw a resurgence. Stuck inside, many people started running their pages again, or starting new ones, and the audience was once again there.
I did see, like, not just, you know, an uptick in the number of posts and engagements and stuff like that, but just the sheer number of pages just absolutely exploded around that time.
You know, we've both made so many other weird niche little core pages. There was a point where I think I had 20.
Yeah,
like
I kind of dropped most of mine.
Most people who follow core pages are also core pages, I've found out. So it was pretty funny seeing random people who just don't know about core pages like commenting on your stuff, and you're like, you've got no clue what's happening.
Yeah, so I'd rather not say which core pages are mine, but let's just say there's a lot of them.
So do you not want to share your identity because of the things you've posted?
No, I don't care about that. I just don't want the government or Zuck to come for me or my family. It's tough running so many pages, you know? trying to come up with memes and keep up with consistent posting so the algorithm favors you.
So your fan base is pretty demanding?
No, my posts only get like 5 or 10 likes.
It was during this time of resurgence that I dropped my attempt at the biggest possible crossover post that I could think of. Too many cores.
Takes a lot to make a meme, from droids and aliens to ice cream. Doesn't matter if you have a preference, cause there's a core page for every obscure reference. Too many cores, too many core pages, too many cores, too many cores, too many cores, too many core pages, too many cores.
A parody of Adult Swim's segment Too Many Cooks, which itself is already a big parody of other stuff. My version copied the theme song and added various core pages in as different cast members. It quickly became one of the most popular posts we had ever made, and was such a blast to make that I ended up making 4 different versions over the years, adding more segments and core pages each time.
This is the story of cores. Cool, original, rambunctious entertainment systems. And they're here to prevent Facebook pages from the Zuckerberg's units for canceling cores. When it comes to the future, you can never have too many cores.
It started with just Star Wars cores. Then I added more into the second edit, and by the third edit I was adding superhero cores and other miscellaneous pages.
I mean, look at what I've accomplished. Do you see him? You think a depressed person could make this? No.
A big inspiration for me doing Too Many Cores, and something that helped me a tremendous amount in the editing process, was the core megalist. Created by the admin of droideka-core, the megalist was a Google spreadsheet that organized every core page by their name, number of followers, their franchise, birthday, and a link that leads to the page.
Okay, so first, why I put it together. I think, it's funny to say because I've been running this page for almost 10 years, droideka-core that is, and even before that I ran some other pages. I've always been, especially in terms of the core community, I've always been a fan of sharing other people's work and talking to other people, seeing what other people are doing. Especially the first few years that I ran my page, I really didn't make any memes for my meme page, which is funny to think about. So definitely it had already been the big explosion of pages to my mind. It was late 2019, and then it kind of it kind of lost a little bit of momentum, and then when everyone was trapped inside for a long time, it regained some momentum. But yeah, so around that time, late 2019, started following dozens of other pages. I've always been really into spreadsheets. I know that makes me sound really cool. But I've always been a data. I liked math in school. I did robotics in school, and I was our stats guy. I've always been really into spreadsheets. This is gonna reflect really well on me. And so I thought, as long as I'm not really making very many memes, this could be sort of a contribution that I could make to the core community, especially because everyone has whatever first page they discover. I would love if I could put in my page bio, I could just post 10,000 links so that people knew here are the other core pages. But then I realized well, I can sort of do that by just making a spreadsheet, and then I'll post a link to the spreadsheet. If people stumble on my page and are what's the gimmick here? This is my way of showcasing this page is part of a larger community. Here's all these other people. Just a way to show the scope of the whole community, especially around that time as it started to spread into other sort of fandoms. It stopped being so Star Wars focused.
I think the first core page that I actually saw was Old Ben Core. Just thought it was really funny, liked the memes, and then I started up my very first core page, a Star Wars core page, with a couple of friends from high school, and then thought, let's get away from Star Wars memes, and started Sully Core instead. And that's how I got into Pixar memes, I guess.
You go through people's stuff. It's cool. It's really cool that people want to put the time and effort into building a community up just to have a laugh at something. Because for a fact that 9 out of 10 people who make these core pages don't give a shit if it gets popular or not. They're just doing it because they find it funny.
Eventually it hit the 24-minute mark. Much, much longer than the original Too Many Cooks had been. I used the final version of it to conclude a storyline that we had been telling with multiple other core admins. Together for months, we were all using different memes to tell the story of an evil entity that was trying to take over the core community. The name of this entity? Baby-core. After the boom in 2020, many pages came up with crossover memes that would make the core community truly feel like just that, a community of pages. And with pages increasingly interacting with each other, it started to make things feel more alive. And then at the beginning of 2022, two admins would create a page that would light a fire throughout the core community, that would create a slew of crossover memes across dozens and dozens of pages. But just what is Baby-core?
We are the baby. We came here from another dimension because we were summoned here. We didn't have a physical vessel, so we had to go into the internet. But we found that the internet has power, and basically we were slowly but surely manipulating the whole core community into manifesting our physical body, which happened. We didn't get to full power basically because the whole core community came and destroyed us, and Baraki made us into soup, and we died. But did we die though? Because I'm still here. I'm talking to you right now, and I'm a fucking evil baby. Am I right? And we are omnipotent, and we will come back and destroy the core community.
So are you saying Baby-core has been uploaded to the cloud?
Baby-core is everywhere. Baby-core is not even limited to the internet anymore. Baby-core is everything.
So if you're following along at home, Baby-core is an evil AI that wants to take over the community to subsume it as part of its hive mind. An insane plot that became the through line for an onslaught of memes. It became a common enemy for everyone to focus their energy and memes on. But how did this snowball effect happen? Was Baby-core always meant to be an evil menace when it was created?
It was not always meant to be evil. It was, in fact, I believe our bio still says a baby with a phone. And the whole concept was what would happen if you gave a baby access to posting on the internet. And it just started as me smashing the keyboard on my phone. Autocorrect put a few words in, and eventually in the second or third post it somehow fit something very dark in there, and we just thought it was so funny. And so we started thinking, what if there's a dark side to this baby that has a phone, this infant with a phone?
And that's where I came in. because that's when I was like, oh, we have to fucking double down on this. And it's all the posts were progressively getting more evil and unhinged, and our whole idea was to get that shit, start sharing, because we have many core pages, right? So we started sharing that and see if people thought it was funny. And at first they thought it was very cute, which was our idea. We wanted to get them on board with the baby, and then our plan was to slowly but surely see how far we can go with the weird shit, and see if people actually start noticing that there's something fucking wrong with this baby.
How did you get involved with the Baby-core stuff? Did you know who it was, or did you just get involved naturally?
No, so this is why I love it so much. Everything about that actually happened naturally. I hate artificial drama and all that. Oh, let's tell a story. I like it when it evolves naturally. And what actually started it was, at the time I was in my 30 millionth reread of Dragon Ball, and Trunks makes a joke about how we can go kill Cell as a baby before he's born. And I made a joke on my page about, haha, classic Trunks and abortion, made a little meme about it. And they commented as Baby-core on there with goo goo gaga, but angry face. And then I just locked in on that. And from there, every time they posted, I just posted a picture of Trunks to make it clear. It's I'm coming for you, Baby-core. And it was great because like this was before they started like, oh, it's the evil part. This was when it was still just a baby posting. So that when they started doing the transition to, oh my god, it's an evil alien baby or whatever, I was the first one on the front line. Like, I was there. I was in this war from the start, which is why they contacted me. It's like, hey, you were the first hater of Baby Core. Wouldn't it be great if this escalated? I was like, I'm all in. You got me.
When all this Baby Core War stuff was going on, I've never seen so many crossover posts happen in the core community.
Bro.
I've never seen that level of crossover and the level of people carrying or trying to carry one storyline. It truly felt like we were working in comics or something where everyone's trying to keep one canon going. Were you guys super surprised by how much of a fire it lit?
Yes.
Absolutely.
That was insane. The Baby Core event is like something that we would have never even dreamed of happening because like we just wanted to see the reactions of core pages and maybe like bother them, you know, like comment on their page and like they're like, who's this baby commenting on my page? And that was about it. Like we just were like giggling, like look at what he said. That's it. But then when the whole war ignited and like everybody was just like collabing with us without even knowing who we were. That was super special because like we were new to the community by then.
Yeah.
Like we were like relatively smaller, but that Baby Core page exploded way more than our pages. That is like an entity by itself, like literally.
What really surprised me is there were pages tagging us that like we had never interacted with the page at all. It was just so surprising, and I was like, I've never even heard of this core page, but cool. Like, I'm glad they're following this storyline. We asked a few admins that we were cool with,
just a few ones.
Yeah, to post like, oh, I'm being babyfied, and from there it just blew up somehow. If I remember correctly, it took a couple days to actually start blowing up, but once it blew up. Oh my
it didn't
God.
stop. I remember the one thing that we like coordinated so that it could work for the whole story. We had Oshi-core. That was one of the admins we asked. We had him be like super anti-baby and like, yo, I hate this baby and like make anti-baby posts all the time and like you're gonna fight him in Japan for some reason. Just do it.
And another thing that just kind of naturally happened. I don't know why, but droideka-core, every single post we made, he was just talking shit. Like, every single post. And so naturally, it was like, okay, well, if there's gonna be someone that's gonna kill the baby, it's gonna be droideka-core.
Yeah.
For me, I feel like that's poetic since, like, one of the entire reasons I joined this community is because of droideka-core.
When he told me, it's like, wow, you were one of my influences for starting a core page. My first reaction was, why? My second reaction was, I'm so sorry.
Did you expect everyone to like rally behind you like that, or for some people to get babyfied and all that?
It was an experience. It was insane when I saw other people who weren't aware of the saga actually chiming in and they're like, I'm on baby side, I'm not on baby side. And I knew because, you know, I was in contact with Agnabago and Black Series. It's like, they're not aware of what's going on. This is just organic. They just want to be involved, and that's awesome. Just seeing all this happening, you know, they're not doing like tens of millions of views, but you get several hundred people interacting with them. It's like, holy shit, that is a little niche corner of the internet that we're involved in and part of. And then when I was contacted about Too Many Cores, like, yeah, we're going to actually finish it there. I was like, oh shit, Too Many Cores is one of the biggest things. Especially, I think that was like my debut in Too Many Cores finally. It's like, you get to come in and be introduced as the end to this arc that everyone in the community has been following. You're like, oh, that's insane. It really like was hard to wrap my head around it.
Just you and me, Baraki.
The whole baby thing was a feeling of like we made it, because like whenever I met Dual Droideka, I was like, holy shit, this is like one of the bigger fucking pages that I follow. and like we're collabing now and doing stuff like that. And then like droideka-core joined in and a bunch of other pages, like even bigger pages. When all that stuff started happening, I personally felt like I kind of like made it into this community that I kind of like infiltrated and just like I'm a core page now, bro. What?
After Baby Core was defeated and the story eventually came to its end, we wanted to keep the fun going. And much like the MCU after Thanos, we wanted to establish a new big bad to keep the memes going. Around this time, Marvel was trying to push Kang as the next Thanos, and that's exactly what we did. Another extremely goofy page transitioned into an enemy of the core community, Hot Dog Core. This hilarious page would follow in the footsteps of Baby Core, but just like the admins of that page, being evil wasn't actually the original intent.
Hot Dog Core came at one of the most mentally tormented points of my life. And it is funny because it came out of that, like this absurdity came out of probably the darkest point of my life. Like it existed as a core for a while before anyone even really knew it was there. But like Hot Dog Core had no presence really before that. Like I think I had maybe 50 likes. Like it was just not a big page. But I started just by making dumb memes of hot dogs. Like, I like hot dogs. They were like one of my favorite foods as a kid because I was super picky and I'm autistic. And that was just a thing that I liked. So yeah, I was making memes about depression and stuff and absurd stuff because it was just how I coped. So it was like a little bit of like a comfort. It was my space that I could just be stupid and not have anything connected and like not care if a meme did well or anything like that. Yeah, it didn't have much traction at all at first, and I don't remember what started giving it traction, but I remember it was like during the war with Baby Core that I started just making really unsettling images and memes having to do with hot dog, you know, like demon speak and just random shit like a hot dog and like a red filter and things like that, and just really unsettling pictures of like anthropomorphized hot dogs. And I just got so weird with it and unhinged, and you know, some people kind of like were like, oh my god, what is going on with this hot dog? And I had this way of speaking with all of my pages, and with the hot dog it was just misspelling things, but like in a very specific way. So like there would be like spaces and letters missing or letters added in specific ways, and it just was like a science for me to like hyper focus on, and it was so stupid. And I think it just like made people really confused. Because like I'd been doing that as long as Baby Core had, but I think Baby Core was like the thing that made it unsettling for everyone. And so like when I was doing it more, it was like, oh, this is also unsettling. And I think with the Baby Core, it's sort of like as the character of the hot dog from the extra dimensional Glizzverse or whatever.
People started to catch on, but with a push from our page and a few others, the war against Hot Dog Core was born, as if the baby stuff wasn't already batshit enough. If you're thinking, this is starting to sound like an Adult Swim cartoon, then you're definitely not off with that assessment. I will always be heavily influenced by my days of watching Adult Swim late at night growing up, and my videos for the Core Wars feel very much like an episode of Aqua Teen Hunger Force. This is because I have no animation skills besides making keyframes in Final Cut, but also because that humor really influenced my memes. After all the fun of the Baby Core memes, people were ready to fire on all cylinders when Hot Dog Core arrived on the scene. Everyone ran with it, playing off each other's memes or collaborating on posts together.
Finally made it out.
One of the pages forging the way was Captain Hauser, a clone trooper page that would pretend to beef with us since we were droids. During this time, all clone and droid pages stopped their pretend beef to be an alliance against the hot dog.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I agree with the droids. We could be doomed.
It was extremely nonsensical and very reminiscent of a D&D game going off the rails.
From the deepest reaches of space, some darkness approaching. The ultimate enemy has arrived. I have a bad feeling about all this. Their single purpose: destroy our world.
Kicking things off at 10:30, it's Core Mino.
I regret to inform you, planet Ohio has fallen.
Then, Darth Nihilus Core and Spider Phoenix are feeling the hunger, and an all-out food fight ensues on Corfeteria. Followed by Real Droid Hours at 11:30. Roger, Roger.
Don't miss out.
We started spoofing the Elder Scrolls game Oblivion with the idea that portals to the Glizverse were popping up all around the core community, and it was up to all of us to close them for good and stop the invasion.
This is Captain Hauser. We're winning the battle, but we need those portals closed.
The Hot Dog forces, led by their fierce General Count Dooku, have already begun to ravage Coruscant. And the rest of the multiverse is soon to follow unless they can prevent the Eye from ever being stolen from its resting place on the planet Sedmai.
Just like Baby-Core, eventually, the fun had to come to an end. It culminated with everyone making one last effort to close the portals to the Glizverse for good.
Me and Darth Nihilus are in the heart of the Glizverse and are ready to upload the virus.
The Gliz must fall.
Okay, I'm uploading the Baby-Core virus now. This will hopefully shut down all the portals.
To bring it full circle, we defeated Hot Dog Core by uploading the Baby-Core virus, which destroyed all the portals. It was a way for us to bring some things together and kind of wrap up the story before it got old, while still leaving the door open for Baby-Core to come back if we wanted.
No, I am the heir to the Glizverse Empire, not Baby-Core. No, the Glizzies, you will pay for this.
So what was it like when you were approached about this role?
At the time, I was going through a bit of a dry spell, if you will. My agent called, he pitched the role, and I was like, hell yeah, this sounds great. The script was brilliant. It just felt fresh. I'm a huge fan of these guys in real life, so it was just wild for it to come together like it did. I'd worked with them briefly before on Droid Night Live, and then I had seen all the Baby-Core stuff, and I was just blown away. I really have never seen anything quite like it. They said, I need you to kick the shit out of Pepsi, man, and I was like, well, all right.
I don't know if I can get us out of here. Pepsi Man is gonna kill us for sure!
It is my time to take over.
Hey, how about you take over these nuts?
I don't believe it! It's Gorax's core!
I actually played the villain in Caravan of Courage, and this was sort of like the antithesis to that.
So, are you a fan of hot dogs?
I'm actually a vegetarian in real life, so it was something I could morally and ethically get behind. Crazy how things work out like that. It was really just an added bonus.
So, what's next for Gorax's Core?
The future's looking bright, man. The connections I've made through the core community have really got my career back on track. I'm basically taking calls like all the time. It's crazy, man. My wife and I are expecting our second kid. The spring. It all moves so fast, man. And as an added bonus, I got a whole bunch of people to play Baldur's Gate 3 with now.
All right, boys. Let's get out of here. After the dust settled, another storyline never really emerged from the ashes. Part of this was the platform changing, with some people leaving it behind entirely. Whatever the reason, it was clear that an era of the core community was coming to an end.
With the Core Wars finally coming to an end, the community was ready to move on. But historians and scholars will continue to write about those days for years to come.
So, after a decade of shitposting, here we are. Thousands of cores and millions of memes later, it's hard not to feel like the best days are behind us. But even if the core community vanished from Facebook tomorrow, its impact will be felt for years to come. The social media landscape has become a very different place since the core community began 10 years ago. So what do the next 10 years look like?
where are we in 10 years? Well, I mean, the world is so crazy, so who even knows there? But one thing that I consistently enjoy about a core page is it allows me as a fan of whatever to voice opinions that perhaps nobody else in my life, or very few people in my life directly, can talk about. Like the Glup Shitto shit. I feel like Glup Shitto probably doesn't take root the same way it does without core pages. Because as soon as Glup Shitto was a term, I mean, I saw it everywhere in core pages first, before I saw it anywhere else. So I think core pages will continue to do that. They'll continue to have their little, microbiome that occasionally people are dipping into. For me personally, I find that I gain benefit and joy and just, laughter and whatever from sharing these hyper niche things. It is weird because it's this time of social media just shifting into this amorphous cloud of grabbing people's attention and holding it with an algorithm, which fandom can do, but it does it most effectively through outrage. And I think that the community has matured in so many ways since the time that I started, and it is this bright spot. Like, the last time I heard of core drama, I remember it. It was years ago. And I'm sure there's been stuff, but I think that shows the community is this bright spot in fandom. And it is this weird little peaceful UN thing going on. It's deranged and often gross and uncomfortable, but it's rooted in this community where we all know this is silly. We say things like Glup Shitto and all that. I mean, we know it's silly, and I think that lets people be themselves a little bit more. And if you're not kind of lining up with that more chill, civil, deranged, though, vibe, you're not going to really stick with it. Like, the core pages I see stick around are all incredibly chill. Again, there's these levels of, like, other things going on, too, that make them individuals, but consistently the ones that stick around are chill. So I think they'll continue to do that. The ones that'll stick around, and you know what, I'll stick around as long as I can, I think they're just going to maintain, hey, it is ridiculous the way that social media makes us engage with media. It is insane. It makes you want to go ape mode and tear the, insulation out of your walls. It is terrible. People are tired of that. People just want to say, I think the orange lightsaber is the best. They want to say that. They just want to be like, hey, I miss Kyle Katarn. And not have it be like, Disney is going to steal my child because they took Kyle Katarn from me. No, you can talk about Kyle Katarn, just don't be a maniac about it. So I think it'll continue on as long as it is providing a space for people to engage with something they love in a way that doesn't make them want to bash their head in, pretty much. So I think it's going to be a bright future for core pages.
I can definitely see sort of resurgence happening. I'm sure that there will be plenty of new Star Wars cores when The Mandalorian and Grogu releases. I mean, core pages can be based on anyone or anything. I mean, we saw food cores take over in, what's that, 2022 or something?
The Food Wars.
Yeah, exactly. So it's so hard to predict where this community will go because we're all so neurodivergent that it could go any way.
In my opinion, I really don't know what will happen. A core resurgence could happen, but at the same time, I don't know, because Facebook is so fucking weird now, and they just keep really messing with creators and stuff like that, and with all the AI bullshit that's going on. I don't know, maybe there is a chance, because maybe if core pages don't adapt and start doing weird AI stuff, it could be one of those communities that's oh wait, I like these guys because they're not doing slop like AI. They're just still photoshopping their own memes, having fun, and you can tell it's a fucking person. It's not mass-produced slop just to feed the algorithm. So in that sense, it could be a resistance movement, if you will, to the whole thing. I don't know, man. I just think social media in general it might be me personally, but I feel like social media is up. Like I don't know like what's gonna happen with it.
So it was fun for a time, but I don't know that I would ever really go back into it or full into it because I just don't use Facebook and Meta, and I don't even use Instagram or anything. So it definitely, the platform has kind of ruined it for the community, but also, like, I could see it because there's always room for shitposting. Shitposting is rebellion. It's a form of rebellion. Memes are rebellion. Like, there's always space for rebellion, especially now. There is always a space for shitposting. Whether it finds a better or different platform remains to be seen.
Facebook is not a growing user base, right? Facebook, I think, sheds more users each day than it's taking on and has been for a while.
Will Chewbacca-core ever return?
Like I'm not going anywhere, and also it's like, you know, it's like, where would I go to find, like, I stopped using Twitter. I have a Blue Sky, but the engagement there is weird. It's like I've got Discord, but I don't know, it's like Facebook is the social media platform. Like I didn't grow up on Twitter. I grew up on Facebook. I can't really imagine a world where I'm not on Facebook, as sort of fucked up as that is to say.
I don't think there's any other website, weirdly enough, where at the moment I see cores working. Like,
oh, you're right.
Tumblr and Twitter are probably the closest that would maybe work. But even then, Twitter's just as bad, and Tumblr works on a very different system. So cores being this like Facebook thing is kind of, you know, it's their niche. Cores are a very Facebook thing, taking advantage of the Facebook page system. You know, it's still a very different environment that they all interact in, and, you know, there's people on every social media site who want to yap about their favorite Star Wars character, or, you know, Star Wars in general.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's always hard to say with any sort of social media exactly what's going to happen, but, you know, I think people are still going to enjoy memes, and whether or not it goes viral, I think is more so a chance of luck rather than anything else. And I feel lucky that I got two, you know, very viral posts, but I don't think I necessarily did anything, you know, better than one Facebook page or another. I just, like I said, right place, right time.
What I would like to see, and it's partially my responsibility to make this happen, is to see more core engagement with each other. Because I miss the good old days of like hopping into a comment section being like, Batman core ain't shit, actually. Look at this fool wearing pajamas on the outside of his uniform. Like the playful fighting, and we all knew, like, the tone was mutually kind of fun, and it was kind of, because you didn't really have any homophobic or bigoted cores.
It's definitely more of a community instead of just a few guys running everything, and I think that's fantastic. You got everyone from the person with 20 likes to the big pages with several thousand, and they all interact with each other, communicate, and it's like the only thing that makes Facebook worth visiting at this point.
And I mean, I was pretty young when I started my page. I was still in high school when I originally made the page like 10 years ago. So literally my whole adult life I've run a core page. I don't know if they'll ever stop producing Star Wars content. You know? And I feel like, you know, even beyond Star Wars, there's a lot of great core pages that aren't Star Wars related at all. Of course, it all started with Star Wars stuff, but like, it's sort of like a fandom. We're like fans of fandom, kind of like. It's just like a place to be enthusiastic or be a hater about. That's also an option. I don't think the well has run dry yet as far as like stuff to shitpost about.
With how shitty Meta has been recently, and will likely continue to be, I think it's very up in the air, because I don't think cores will ever go away. I think as long as there's Star Wars content coming out, or Star Wars content to look back on, there's always going to be people who look at a character and go, I want to, like, you know, make memes about Star Wars, and I'm going to use this one to represent me.
We'd both made so many friends through the core community. And we both made so many sort of like close bonds with those people. So many that we couldn't name. Like, we'd be here forever if we named every core that we'd formed a bond with. You know, we've gone through so much. in the core community as well. We've both faced like other bullshit from other people. We've gone through the whole wars of the core community, as it were. But you know, like we've been through the good times, we've been through the bad. But the thing is that
we've stayed together.
We've stayed together, and we met through making stupid Star Wars jokes.
I know that I myself have made real friendships through running this page, and I can't imagine having gone through the pandemic without it. I made this documentary not just because of how important these goofy pages on Facebook have become to me, but also because I truly find it so fascinating how these random pages designed for nothing more than posting dumb memes have become so much more than that. Somehow, a virtual community was built through meme pages that branched into real life and also impacted meme culture outside of just Facebook. I hope you all have enjoyed my tour into this niche corner of the internet and found it just as fascinating as I do. Finding community is important, wherever that might be.
Well, my friends, we've reached the end of the documentary. While we might be at the end of a 10-year road, the path is always being paved forward. So until Facebook shuts us down forever, may the cores be with you.
Chewbacca, can you play us out?
Oh my, bro.